Oh, hello there. You've caught me smashing through Uncharted on the PlayStation 3. And this little thing still smells like cherry coke and Pringles. And it takes me right back. But it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows for this console. In fact, when it launched, the PS3 almost destroyed PlayStation. So let's dive into how this console almost wrecked the biggest name in gaming, why we ended up loving it so much, and the one reason I still occasionally have to dive back in. So let's go back to the beginning. Sony was coming off the PS2, the best-selling console of all time. They were untouchable, or at least that's what they thought. Then 2006 happened, $599 happened. That price announcement sucked the air out of the room. And it wasn't just expensive, it was complicated. Sony built the PlayStation 3 around the Cell processor. Insanely powerful on paper, but a nightmare for developers. Games were harder to make. Ports often ran better on the Xbox 360. Meanwhile, the 360 was gaining a lot of momentum, and the Wii was exploding with casual players all around the world. In some sense, this was the heyday of console gaming. Sony hadn't just stumbled, they looked arrogant. But the strange thing was, we all still wanted one. I was working extra shifts in a shopping mall at the time, trying to save every penny to get one. And it wasn't just about the games. It was also the cheapest Blu-ray player you could find. The console wars were raging and it was time to pick a side. It felt like I wasn't just buying a console. I was buying a piece of the future. HD movies, online gaming, that giant glossy machine under the TV. Even if the internet said it was a disaster, it felt super premium. But the early years were really rough. The exclusives weren't landing yet. The console released with an RCA cable that didn't provide that sweet 1080p. Although I did know a few people who swore they couldn't tell the difference. How can a cable change the quality? Then Sony was hacked, and it was pretty major. The PlayStation Network was down for almost 24 days. Awkward! The narrative turned quickly against Sony. People were saying Sony had lost touch. They were overconfident and they forgot what made PlayStation great. And for a while, it genuinely felt like they might lose the generation. And yet, in my lifetime, I've actually owned 3 PlayStation 3s. One got destroyed in a pretty messy breakup. One disappeared during a move, but I still replaced it. Because somewhere along the way, the PS3 changed. And I feel it was of a time and a place. It became almost a part of your personality to have one. And it really found its footing. The price dropped. There was free online play when it worked. Trophies. Finally, you could see if your friends were lying that they'd actually completed the game or not. The slim models released. And the big one, developers learned how to tame that Cell processor. At least Naughty Dog did. And that's when all the exclusives started to hit. Uncharted, The Last of Us, Metal Gear Solid 4. And by the end of its life, the PlayStation 3 had one of the strongest libraries of the generation. It didn't dominate like the PS2, but it earned respect. And here's the part that people forget. The PlayStation 3 humbled Sony. It forced them to listen. So when the PlayStation 4 launched, everything changed. Simpler architecture, developer-friendly design, competitive price. There was a clear messaging that this was about the games. No arrogance, just focus. And it worked. Has it led to every console basically becoming a PC? Yes, but a PC that runs games with HDR and optimal settings for each game already finely tuned. And that's something I need in my life. So why do I occasionally have to jump back into this relic of an age past? Simply put, some of the games are trapped on there. Infamous 1 and 2, Metal Gear Solid 4, until recently Yakuza 3, and the big one for me, Batman Origins. Yes, I could buy it again on PC, but why should I? Sort it out, Sony. A little side gripe. I have Yakuza on the PlayStation 3. Why can't I play it on the PlayStation 4? Now it's out. Do you know what I mean? That's like buying an app for the iPhone 7 and not being able to download it on your iPhone 16. Anyway, I digress. Without the PlayStation 3's failure, there is no PlayStation 4 dominance. Without the disaster, there's no redemption. It was overpriced, over-engineered, and overconfident. But it reminded Sony why people loved PlayStation in the first place, and it helped them get their shit together. And sometimes that's what it takes. So time to get back to what's important. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.